I wanted to make this video real quick for Aspen Environmental and Bite of a Mosquito at Twitter. Thanks for giving me some props on that. Anyways, I wanted to talk about location-specific therapy. Of course, always being a favorite from the old days of the on-demand and what frequency for what location, acting as the mechanism to kind of like acupuncture, but just going beyond acupuncture by delivering a very specific, healthy frequency. Ways to deliver it, location specific, are primarily the TENS unit pads, and they're number one. So I just have the P3 Pro here. My PFG is at Pulse Technologies getting an update right now, which you can always update their equipment when they come out with new stuff. I felt this last one was worth it. It has full harmonics up to megahertz frequencies. Usually the range I run is 20 to 90 kilohertz. But why do we take pills for non-digestive issues? I boil it down to three things: taste, smell, and tradition. Tradition, we've been groomed, and you take this pill, the pill does wonders, and that's promoted again on the television, and it's enforced by doctors with their medical education. Some of the things that would help us, they don't smell the best, they don't taste the best, and therefore we don't take them. There's some interesting things with, I think it was Body Bio has a taste tester kit, and there's other people with mineral taste tester kits that you take a certain amount of a mineral and you develop a taste in your mouth. And then when it starts to taste bad at say 16 drips, that's the amount that you need of the zinc, chromium, molybdenum, or whatever specific mineral that it is. Okay, why the pills are not always going to work is assimilation of the pill, how well you digest it, how much of it is going to get stuck in the liver, and then if you're taking it orally too, then you'd have to increase the amount of the active ingredients to get it past the liver. There are some things that bypass it, like some liposomal products, liposomal vitamin C. I think liposomal phosphatidylcholine. Some of these things get past the blood-brain barrier. There's barriers like the bones and periosteum, of course. But if you don't have circulation to an injured site, and with most sites are, the inflammation is a wall of inflammation, and there's less circulation because, and there's some effects. If it's an old wound, then there's not going to be circulation. There's going to be usually an inflammation pouch with the body. As I understand it, seals these germs and toxins in there, and which can later rupture and leak out and cause reinfections. Solutions. The cheap solution is energy medicine. You don't have to go to your pharmacy, refill a script for it. It can be location specific, and it can go through things if it has like the amplifiers to overcome the biological load that's placed on these frequencies. It has to have specific rise time, and all these things need to be read about at Pulse Technologies or pulsetech.com and /support, and then frequency generation considerations. And I've got a lot of videos that also talk a little bit about that. But the amplifier is really important for the harmonics and other things. It's one of these things, why doesn't a signal generator work? Why can't I just get, I don't know, like a $10 signal generator, like with some of the TENS unit machines I understand use like $5 to $15 circuits, and usually with the real cheap ones they're analog, not that great a frequency. Of course, Rife had equipment that was super old, and some of his stuff did work, so I mean there's just some potential there, and for cheap devices, I mean it's better than nothing usually. So you go to like introductiontorife.com, that's introductiontorife.com, they have schematics on how to build some of these $5,000 devices for $150, or roughly. You know, it's an ignition coil, transistor, resistor, 12-volt power supply, and a coil. I think I got it was like BillChebsCoils.com or something. I sourced it all the other day. And a company with transparency like that, they want you to experience this stuff. They want you to have this stuff. They don't want you to get ripped off by this stuff if you want to build it yourself. I mean, they have quite a few diagrams of how to build this stuff yourself for almost nothing. If you do want to go with the rods, they say use, like I use these if I'm going to run like a sleep program or something. That way they just fall out of my hand. They don't get stuck to the bed or anything like that. It's 416 steel, and 416 steel is used in marine grade, different applications, marine grade, but like marine grade knives, diving knives and stuff, they're made out of this stuff. And if it doesn't react in salt water, it's not going to react in your hands. But if you have brass, gold, or gold plated, I guess, and you know, who's to trust on that, you're going to get some of that stuff inside your body. I'd almost guarantee it. You want something that's non-reactive, something that doesn't go inside your body. Even if it's like, say, silver, like silver would be fantastic for you, right? I don't think so. I think, you know, salts from your skin are going to, again, lead to sodium chloride or silver chloride, which is too large a particle size, you know, might turn your blue. I would guarantee that it turns your hands blue. I had some experience with trying just copper pipe, because that's just like the cheapest thing you could do, and yeah, it turned my hands blue, and I didn't like that a whole lot. Some people say, oh, just, you know, wrap a paper towel around that. That's not going to work either. There's going to be still some particles that slip through, and it's going to screw you up. There's some disease names for overabundance of copper in your body, and it will definitely screw with the zinc copper balance too. Now, where the frequencies come from, there's a lot of different sources. I use the private frequencies first from Pulse Technologies, then I use probably the NCFL, which pulls from a lot of different lists. The CAFL, which is turned into the Electrical Therapeutic Device Frequency Listing. All those things, plus Pulse Technologies high frequency and advanced high frequency calculators. And I could develop a real good program out of that. All experimental, of course, but good experimental results. And I always try this stuff on myself before, you know, letting someone or suggesting to someone else that they try it. So introductionrife.com, pulsetech.com/support will give you a whole lot of information. For people who already have PFG devices, I invite you to a Yahoo group that I started called PFG Fan Group. That's a free Yahoo group. I can, you know, upload, share files, share protocols that I've been running, and so can you. So there's things for the future. With nutritional substance incorporation, we're talking about directing a high-powered light energy source towards something, towards one of Tesla's designs attached to an arbitrary waveform oscilloscope that captures, stores the frequency, and then I can import it into the computer and then run that arbitrary waveform / frequency with the PFG, because the PFG is an arbitrary waveform generator. So that just means when you get beyond square, sine, triangle, whatever it looks like, if it looks like the Tetons exactly, then we can reproduce that. That's some things for the future with capturing substances and their effects on us. And one of my favorite analogies for that, and I love analogies because it's not the real truth, but if you just think about when you eat breakfast, you're full right away and you can have energy right away, but your cells have not gotten the energy whatsoever. This is borrowed too, by the way, thanks to Mr. Oshman. So your cells get the energy. How do they get the energy? The energy must be signaled that it's on its way, therefore allowing your body to function. And sometimes I've heard a lot in homeopathy that giving someone a frequency of a vitamin will facilitate better metabolism of the actual vitamin. So say someone has an allergy, and Dr. Kessler has a good, I think it's like dr-kessler.com. He's got great book downloads there. One of them's on homeopathy, and he talks about that. Giving someone the equivalent, the energetic equivalent of something, which I would probably program with the pulsed LED. Now that I would probably do that over the plasma, but I do the plasma imprinting a lot, and I do the silver imprinting a lot too. And sometimes I do the silver imprinting and then do the plasma and or pulsed LED. But I think the pulsed LED has got to be a little bit cleaner, and it's only that is set in square wave though. That won't do arbitrary waveforms. So that's some things towards the future. And to talk about like intelligent machines and stuff, I've done videos where I'm capturing frequencies with a Zyto tower, reading them into the computer. It's assimilation of that, or it's identification of that frequency that gets stored in Zyto software, and then it's output through the hand cradle. Seems to work out real well according to blood tests. It works better on the frequencies than it does, say, the heavy metals, but then it works great on the spine, and it doesn't. And the supplements seem to work good too, and the things that I put into the machine seem to work real well. The big criticism of that being that everything's multi-level marketing. Well, that's just what platform of the software that you have. If you have the higher end stuff, then you can capture your own supplements. So I've got like Now Solar Ray, Nature's Way, Twin Lab, Gaia, less expensive, non-doctors only supplements. I've got a lot of doctors only supplements too, but it's just to say, and I've got a lot of patient lists. So a patient has 60 different supplements. I input those. It's not a supplement selling game for me. It's more of a, hey, let's take this look at energy medicine. There's some of the things like the research that Pulse Technologies does is it's all funded by them, so they're not being controlled by someone to either suppress or and hide certain findings. So they can be explored, and they can go in whatever direction that they want to. So if they did Lyme research, they could publish that research. They've done the Candida research, and that's on pulsedetect.ro. It's also on my Lyme group, and I'd email it to anyone. My email is Jordan, JORDANDEJONGE @hotmail.com, and I'd send that to you. I mean, that's public information. There's some things that are, I think, more classified, but updates, if you're watching this and you're one of the people that has a plasma and you bought it a year or 10 years ago, as I understand it from some of the people in my group, they've got 10-year-old devices, PFGs and whatnot. My temperature gun shows, this temperature gun, it's like a thermal camera, FLIR i3. It shows a part that generates all the power down here. This capacitor is 108 degrees. It's not 130 degrees. It's way cooler than my laptop. So it's safe to run on any surface. I can set it on a couch or a chair next to a patient giving themselves, of course, self-treatment. And it doesn't burn anything. The relay is what did that. There's no relay in it. It's a solid-state design. I went over the PFG having increased harmonic capabilities up to megahertz, which I never run. Really, I experimentally run them on myself just to see, and it seems to be even more powerful at the 20 to 90 kilohertz range. Now I'm just going into a terrible rant. Did I miss anything? Oh, yes. There's some things in the works And the concept is, so a person needs a certain vitamin. That vitamin is what constitutes the electrode pad underneath, at least somewhat. So that vitamin is mixed in with the gel, and then electricity, say like organ support, liver frequency, whatever it is sent through, and then signals of that vitamin would then reach the location. And like an aloe vera or something has been talked about. But I could see any, mineral, supplement, vitamin, bio, chemical being put in here, and then getting the electrical signal plus the electrical signal from the device, PFG, whatever it is. And this is not limited to like pulse technology stuff at all. But you have energy signal, and then you have vitamin in the pad, and then you have that energy signal plus the vitamin signal going into the body in specific pulse rates to help the person in a specific location. I think that's huge. Yeah, I think I got everything for my notes yesterday. Thanks for watching, if you made it this far. And please like and subscribe, favorite. I think this stuff needs to get out there.